the way that they play off of each other is really, really interesting. You have this dynamic of, we are a team and we're in this together. It should always be that. But there is this underlying current I would have to spend a lot more time digging into to share with you all regarding what exactly we are witnessing. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Welcome back. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Listen, we're not going to be here for long. I just wanted to pop on here real quick and share some of my thoughts regarding Kamala Harris's VP pick. I'm going to have a lot more thoughts next week as the DNC is underway, but I wanted to share some initial thinking from a personal branding and marketing standpoint. As always, my thoughts are coming through that lens. We're not talking about politics here. I am not a political wonk. I am coming at this from the approach of someone who does this for a living. For lack of a better way to say it. So to start, let's look over a few clips together.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Philadelphia. Thank you, Madam Vice President, for the trust you put in me, but maybe more so, thank you for bringing back the joy. Pennsylvania, I know you know this. But my God, what a treasure you have in Josh Shapiro. Holy hell, can this guy bring the fire? He can bring the fire. This is a visionary leader. When you need a bridge fixed, call that guy. There is no one you would rather go to a Springsteen concert in Jersey with than him. Than that guy. I couldn't be prouder to be on this ticket to help make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States.
One day after making a Philadelphia debut, Harris and Walz visiting Wisconsin and heading to Michigan.
He is so interesting to watch because he's almost giddy behind her. I feel like he's kind of almost not fidgety in a negative way, but he's kind of electrified.
And he's small town, Midwestern, and I thought of Hubert Humphrey and all the Minnesota politicians I've known, and the Minnesota, the kindness and the cheerfulness, and this is obvious.
It's interesting to watch them because he's a little more informal than she is, right? But that's okay because they're complementary in that way.
Absolutely.
The first event in Philadelphia where Josh Shapiro spoke before Walz and Harris came out. Josh Shapiro looked like a guy that was running for president. Tim Walz looked like a guy that was very much the running mate. Was that dynamic a key reason why Walz was chosen over Shapiro?
Yeah, I mean, we reported, and I know all of us have talked about how Harris really wanted a loyal partner, someone that she could get along with. But beyond that, everyone's always talking about, who's going to be the next Democratic candidate to come in the next couple of years. I think there was a little bit of Shapiro.
Was about Shapiro.
Yeah, it could have been the Shapiro show. He's very good at getting attention. He has a very loyal base, and Walz did pledge his allegiance to Harris.
Shapiro's Batman, she needed a Robin.
And not to compare the two because you cannot compare the two, but he's giving this energy that is circa Joe Biden 2016, right? So this excited, full of life, joie de vivre, all of this energy is the energy that Joe Biden had then. Remember the 2016 State of the Union address? And Joe Biden was pointing. He's I'll insert a clip. And actually, there's a whole article on Joe Biden pointing. I'm not lying. So when I say, y'all, that this branding stuff and this personal signature branding stuff is deep, y'all, I'm not lying. There's a whole article on Joe pointing. Anyway, I digress. But Tim is giving that same energy, that, supportive, I'm all in. What do you need? I'm part of the team. If I had to look at directional points on the leadership compass, more on that later, Tim is what you would describe as a South. And that is all hands on deck. I'm here. I'm ready. Choose me. That is the energy that I am getting from him. And undoubtedly, that is the energy that helped him cinch this position. There is, of course, this earned reverence that is shown. I'm going to have a lot more once the DNC convention kicks off and is underway. But for now, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this pick. So y'all, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's sudden rise in the Democratic Party, it didn't happen by chance. We're exploring how him and his team crafted actually a strategic plan that catapulted him into the national spotlight and ultimately onto the 2024 presidential ticket as Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate. So just after the 2022 midterms, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota was not widely known on the national stage. He actually wasn't even considered to be a front runner to become VP Kamala Harris's running mate. But he and his team, they had this vision. They decided to prepare for any potential opportunity that might come their way. That strategy, it appears that it was a combination of building his profile, his persona, slowly and steadily, from state party dinners and cable news appearances, all the way to what we're seeing now. Y'all, this approach was rooted in the famed Minnesota nice style. I'm not making that up. So this style is assertive yet polite, and it made sure that it didn't alienate any allies, including Kamala Harris and her team. I'm going to dig more into the nuance, again, that is happening, what we are witnessing between the two, and how that assertiveness and niceness is witnessed even in how they interact with one another. So let's go back. So his team worked diligently to hone in on his messaging and as well highlight his achievements. And they even branded his progressive legislation as the Minnesota Miracle. They then pitched him to podcasters, reporters, donors, activists. This calculated media blitz, it turned him into a favorite among Democratic voters and donors. And that is what won him the coveted VP nomination. His authenticity and loyalty, that was a mainstay. He was always ready to step up. He defended President Biden in the media. He led the National Democratic Rules Committee, and he raised funds for Democratic campaigns. He was demonstrating a genuine willingness to help wherever it was needed, and at the same time, he was making a significant impression on Harris and her team. One of the key moments that boosted him and his profile was the strategic criticism of former President Donald Trump. Now, this is where this came from, y'all. By calling Trump weird, more on that later, he struck a chord with Democratic voters, and that amplified his message at just the right time. It was a bold move, and it was coupled with consistent media presence And that is what made him a household name among those who were very faithful to the party. Y'all, as I observed this, his rise wasn't just about being in the right place at the right time. It was also about leveraging his long-standing relationships and being pleasantly agreeable. That worked for him. His home state senators, the likes of Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith, they promoted his case, and they personally reached out to the likes of Al Sharpton. Then we're noticing his persona and him putting a stake in the ground for how he would be perceived. And then there was this networking. So this strategic networking combined with a well-coordinated media campaign that helped him stand out. And his team's efforts culminated in his selection as Harris's running mate. And when it all came back, when in some of these conversations that are being had, what was he praised for? For his loyalty and his partnership potential. Y'all, this is a master class in personal branding, having a vision, and then how you get to the finish line. Now, it cannot be understated that there are a couple of other things that were working in Tim's favor. Now, we're not going to lift that here, but we must observe that it was the way that he did things and the way that he presented which helped position him as a front runner. Tim Walz's sudden rise in the Democratic Party, it wasn't an accident. It was the result of a meticulously planned strategy, a bit of luck, and an unwavering commitment to his values and to his team. Oftentimes, success comes to those who are prepared and those who are authentic in their approach. I want to close by saying this. We noticed in the first 2 weeks or so of the campaign, there was this lift of freedom, right? And the next step, and being free. And that will remain as a pillar. Last week, there was a lift of joy and lightness that was being brought forward. It'll be interesting to see what will come through in the messaging as we head into the convention. All right, y'all, that's all I got for now. I promised I would not be on here for long. Somebody rang the doorbell and maybe they went away. I don't know. Anyway, y'all, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for way more when it comes to personal branding. Friends, you are capable of big things. Until next time.
Every year we as a family do something old and something new. I get to pick something, a classic, the old mill ride, to do that. And then Hope gets to pick something new.
I think we're gonna go do the slingshot.
Which I don't know what it is, and they're keeping it from me. But then we're gonna go get some food, corn dog.
I'm vegetarian.
Turkey then. And
Turkey's meat.
Not in Minnesota, turkey special. And we will go do some of those things and report back. Wow, that is wild.
That was pretty cool, actually.
Thanks for talking me into it.
You're welcome.